January 29th, and once again, I thank you for joining in to our weekly webinars. Just with a quick show of hands, hopefully you can all see my screen, but if you could just put your hands up if you can see my screen and the agenda for today. I'm not seeing hands. How about now? Now can you see my screen? Ah, excellent. Thank you, thank you. Seems to be a real challenge lately seeing my screen. But anyway, thanks again for joining us. For those of you that are new, if you want to ask a question, you can just raise your hand with a little icon like you just did to notify me that you could see my screen. Or you can type in a question in the question box, and I will answer that at the end of the webinar. So I don't have tons to share with you today, but there are some important things that I thought I do at least want to notify you of. Certainly the cutoff date for 2/1 effective date, Highmark and Capital are still taking apps for a 2/1 off exchange. We would need the applications for off exchange for Highmark or Capital by close of business today, so we have time to process tomorrow. So if you do have any stragglers out there for a 2/1 effective date, then please make sure to get those apps into us ASAP. We're not going to be able to make any exceptions. We really need to get them in by close of business today. And UPMC is still offering off exchange for 2/1 effective date. Of course, you would have to go onto the UPMC website yourself and enter that application, but it is still a possibility if you want a 2/1 effective date. You know, 2/15, February 15th, in about a week or 2.5 weeks, the actual close of enrollment will take place, and anything after, for on exchange, anything after 1/15, 1/15 will get a 3/1 effective date. So, you know, we are coming to the end of the enrollment period. The volume I expect to pick up towards the 15th of February, because if we've learned nothing, we've learned that there are a lot of stragglers out there. So anything we can do to help you or make that transition for a 3/1 effective date to get in before the deadline, we're willing to do. So just contact your case managers or me, and we'll help you out. There was a situation that was brought to my attention by one of my agent partners. He writes quite a bit of Aetna, and you know, the Aetna HMO plans that require the PCP on their website, it's a little bit difficult. When you go on exchange, you can't pick your primary care physician. So when you go on the Aetna website to look for a physician to choose as your primary care physician, only the providers with the blue dot next to them are eligible to be primary care physicians. So it's a little bit confusing. I don't know if any of you have had correspondence with your Aetna clients and they've experienced the same situation, but I just wanted you to be aware that there is a bit of confusion as to who can be a primary, who cannot, and I would, if you do have any Aetna clients, reach out to them, make sure that if they did applications on exchange, they've chosen their primary and it's the correct primary for them. And for those of you that operate in Northeastern PA and work with Blue Cross of Northeastern PA, it is January 29th, and they've released 2015 compensation. So here it is. We'll have this available if you want to have me send it to you. The group comp has not changed. It is an 80-20 split. So for groups of 2 to 99, it's a flat $40 per contract per month. 80-20 split, we pay $32 per member per month. So that's about the highest in the industry, and certainly something, if you want to quote for NEPA groups, we're happy to help you with that. And individual business, again, this is going to be an 80-20 split. Individual did take a bit of a hit on the individual side, the spouse and individual, and then, of course, the family. So these are the comps for 2015. They did have a reduction. So parent and child are really the only ones that have remained the same. So not great news, but news nevertheless. And back to the agenda. I was asked, because there still seems to be a lot of confusion and a lot of misinformation out there about the affordability guidelines for employer-sponsored coverage. And of course, if affordable employer-sponsored coverage is offered to the employee, and by default it's offered to the spouse or the children, then the spouse and children cannot go to the exchange and get a subsidy, even if their portion of the premium is what they deem unaffordable. The guidelines say that if the employer is passing on to the employee, well, let me back that up. If the portion, the single only portion that is passed on to the employee for the lowest cost offered plan, you know, if there's a dual option and they offer like an HSA and then a higher or lower deductible copay, higher benefit plan, then that premium, the single only premium of the lowest plan that's passed on to the employee, that can't exceed 9.5% of that employee's W-2 income. If it does, it's deemed not affordable. If it does not, then it is affordable by government guidelines, and if the spouse and children are also available or eligible to make application, then they are not eligible for subsidy either on the individual side. They can certainly waive off of the employer coverage that their spouse is being offered and go get individual insurance, but it cannot be through healthcare.gov and subsidized. So certainly that could cause many issues when they file their taxes because they're getting unwarranted subsidies. So if anybody has any additional questions on that, please let me know. You can call me or you know, we can talk offline. I'll remind you again about the FFM upload link that is on our site. I'm going to show it to you again. If you go to our website, you know, our home page, I already have our health plan options up. Oh no, what's going on? All right, so it's running slow. Okay, URL insgroup.com is our website. If you go into the health plan options icon or tab and go under product information, under the federally facilitated marketplace forms and links, you're going to see the upload submitted application. And this is the link that you would use if you're doing FFM business, healthcare.gov business. And this would allow us to start tracking that business, getting it in our queue to make sure that you're getting compensated because, you know, carriers do have broker authorization forms that you can complete to claim those cases. However, NEPA has a 90-day rule, so if you have a 1/1 effective date and you don't notify them or claim that case within 90 days, then you forego your commission. Well, in many instances, we don't get compensated within 90 days. So by the time we would know it's missing, you know, it'd be too late. And Highmark has just adopted the 90-day rule for broker authorization. So it's very important to notify us of your FFM cases, again, so we can start getting them in our queue, start monitoring them and tracking them for compensation so that you don't miss out on your compensation and we don't you know, miss out on compensation either, or override. So that is the FFM link. This week, you probably received an email from John Reel about our group options, and I encourage you that if you're not doing group business with URL, that you know, maybe give us a try. You know, the same service levels that apply on the individual side, which, you know, are excellent and exceed any of our friendly competitors' offerings, also holds true for the group health plans. You know, we work really hard to make sure you get your quotes as soon as possible. Most days it's same day, 24 hours at the latest for the carriers that we quote. And, you know, we have the carriers available. We have Highmark, both Central and Western, Capital Blue Cross, Geisinger, Health America, Aetna, Independence, UPMC, Blue Cross of Northeastern PA. We also offer some self-funded programs through Starmark and Assurance as well. In addition to our group health, traditional group health plans, we also have the ancillary plans, you know, GAP for individual and group that can help fill in some of those larger deductibles. There's even a new GAP program that Christy's going to be marketing that pays the co-insurance specifically. So it's kind of innovative. And again, I encourage you to reach out to us and give us a try for your group health and your group ancillary. You know, again, we'll help you as much as we can, and your success is our success. So we're happy to help you. Tax stories is the next icon. I'd like to hear some of the tax stories as they start getting filed. I'm sure your clients on the individual side, the subsidized side, may have some successes and some nightmares. I've heard of one already that, for no apparent reason, they were, you know, had some sort of unwarranted tax subsidy and have to pay that quite a bit. Whether that's true or not, you know, we're trying to figure that out. But I'd like to hear some of the stories as you start hearing them from your client, because I think this is where the rubber's really going to hit the road, and you know, see how the system itself really doesn't protect the consumers from, you know, hate to say it, but from fraudulent behavior. So would love to hear those stories. And that's it for the agenda today. Like I said, we don't have a lot to discuss. So I'm going to open it up now for your questions. And just a reminder, we are having a webinar next Thursday, which is February 5th already. And you know, again, every Thursday at 9:30, we run these webinars, and we will continue to do so as long as they are helpful. So the questions are, Pam says, she says, why are we no longer able to access the policy numbers for health insurance policies we are writing in the private marketplace with Highmark? We previously were able to get them, and now they say they can't give us due to HIPAA. How are we to assist our clients when we can't access the policy number? It's an extra hassle to have to reach back out to the clients to get them after the fact. Pam, I agree. And Highmark actually agrees. But that policy number, they call it the UMI, from their perspective, that is considered part of you know, private information, because you could take that information and access the website and pull up more information. Would that happen? Probably not. But you know, their attorneys and their guidelines say that that UMI number is part of their protected private health information. Now, what we've been doing is telling our agent partners, or giving our agent partners Highmark's customer service number, that the client can actually call in, they can make a payment over the phone, and they can find out their policy number before they would receive their card. So I'm trying to get that number from my notepad here, so if you can just bear with me a second, and I will get that out, or let you guys know what that number is if I can find it, and it doesn't appear to be coming up. Why, oh why, because that's just the way my day is going. All right, I'll continue to look for that. And Mike says, employer offered affordable coverage, 9.5 of employees' W-2 income, not household income, correct? Right. They, you know, originally the law talked about household income, but the safe harbors that came in allowed you to disregard household income and actually just look at the W-2 of the employee, because, I mean, let's face it, you know, no employers know household income. So it was a difficult and really unattainable sort of parameter to set, because, you know, quite frankly, my employer and you know, your client's employers don't know household income, and they shouldn't. So that's the safeguard, one of the safe harbors that they put in. And Jim says, what has been the typical lag time to receive commissions from client start dates during 2014? Towards the beginning, it was about 90 days, and then it got closer to about 60 days. So they got better as the year ended. But with the payment lagging, specifically with Highmark, you know, payments for January weren't even due till January 12th, and the cutoff for the compensation, I believe, is around the 16th or the 15th. So, you know, again, there are stragglers out there. There are people that applied last minute, up to 12/31, and you know, didn't get their cards, didn't get their bill, didn't pay until the 12th of January. So I would expect that 1/1 effective date commissions for Highmark would start coming in next month, and but the bulk of them probably in March. Tracy says, oh, she was giving the numbers. Thanks, Tracy. Central, actually, I have a different number for customer service, is for Highmark for your clients to call is 877-986-4571, and then for Western, it is 888-544-6679. And I can repeat those if you need to. And actually, that looks like all of our questions. Not sure if you have any additional questions, and I'll give you a few minutes to type those in. And just a reminder again that we run these webinars every Thursday at 9:30, and sometimes there's a lot of information to discuss, sometimes there's not, but you know, surprisingly, we always seem to find something to discuss and something to at least relay to you. So that looks like it for today. I appreciate everyone tuning in as always, and I wish you all a warm rest of the week and certainly a happy weekend. So thanks again for joining in, and enjoy your day. Bye-bye.